this Encore GX. Countdown to kickoff. Scouting Report. Presented by BetRivers.com.
All right, folks, welcome back here live at Countdown to Kickoff. Anthony Calhoun alongside former Indianapolis Colts. Well, check that. Our Colts insider, that is. Zach Kiefer, that is, are here on CTK. Scouting Report now, and man, we got a lot to get to right now regarding this football team because we know how big of a game it is today for the Colts against the Steelers. Let's start first, though, with those two big injuries on the O-line today against the Steelers team that is hungry to try to get a win, coming in on a three-game losing streak. Can you take us through what is going on with Braden Smith and with Anthony Costanzo on those injuries?
Yeah, the Colts are really healthy all over the roster except for one position. It's a really important one. Braden Smith, their starting right tackle, a Pro Bowl caliber right tackle, is out with COVID. Anthony Costanzo suffered a left ankle injury in Thursday's practice. That could be more than a week, I'm told this morning. That could be something of concern. He's out today. So you've got your bookend right tackle and left tackle out. That's going to change the way Phillip Rivers calls the game. That's going to change the way Frank Reich calls the game as well. It's going to change the way the Colts play offense. It's going to really hamper them in the downfield passing game. We'll see what they do. I expect a lot of running game and a lot of quick passes.
Yeah, and back to the Braden Smith, he's on the COVID reserve list, that is, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So we don't know if it's a positive test or if it's a close contact. Could be back next week for Jacksonville, but that does not help the Colts today. Okay,
so this playoff situation, I tell you, man, I was trying to look at my phone, reading stuff. It's so perplexed right now for this football team because it's just dicey because what happened last night with the Raiders losing to the Dolphins, if you're a Colts fan, you're watching that, you're saying, what in the world is going on? Explain to the folks at home, what do the Colts need to do to try to get in the playoffs?
The Raiders did not help the Colts last night, if you can believe it. The bottom line is this, the Colts win 2 and they're in. It's very simple. I'm Frank Reich. That's what I'm telling my team this morning. But there is a possibility if the Colts go 11-5, they will miss the playoffs. I know it sounds historic, and it would be. They'd be just the third team in history to do that. But it's actually a realistic possibility, and here's why. They lose out on every significant tiebreaker. They lost to the Browns. They lost to the Ravens. That hurts them. They would lose to the Dolphins if the Dolphins win next week in Buffalo. So basically today, here's a perfect day for the Indianapolis Colts. You go to Pittsburgh, you win. Tennessee loses tonight in Green Bay. That means the division is in your hands, and you could be hosting a home playoff game. If you lose, you need to root for the Ravens to lose, and then next week you need to root for the Ravens to lose and the Dolphins to lose in Buffalo. It gets out of your hands if you lose today.
And they got a tough game here today against the Steelers. So let's dive in this morning and take a look at the offense for the Steelers. And, of course, it's led by Big Ben, the guy who's won a couple of Super Bowls. Give me your assessment on this football team offensively. We know they come in on a 3-game losing streak, but they still got some playmakers, right?
Yeah, but they've been terrible of late. They've been terrible of late. The defense has not been the problem in Pittsburgh. It's been the offense. And they don't have a run game, so the defenses have picked up on just really crowding the line of scrimmage, forcing Ben to throw quickly, and those guys are covered, and they're not going anywhere. He's got 4 touchdowns to go with 5 interceptions in the last couple of weeks. I mean, this team has really struggled. You saw the cracks start to show during that 11-game win streak. You start them really started to come see in full focus the last couple of weeks. I mean, they got beat by the Bengals badly on Monday night. So this is a very beatable team, and the biggest reason is they can't move the ball on offense.
All right, so you got concerns about the offense, right? Defensively, as we switch gears here and talk about defensively for this football team, you give that a good grade because you think they've got a solid defensive unit, right?
Yeah, they're studs. They're studs up front. They lead the league in sacks with 47. A big reason is T.J. Watt, who has 13, which is the most in football. That's going to be the biggest question for the Colts. We know the Colts don't have their starting offensive tackles. You're going to have Mo Alley-Cox stay in. You're going to have Jack Doyle stay in by the line of scrimmage to stop that guy, number 90. T.J. Watt is a monster. The Colts know his brother very well from wrecking games over the years. That's going to be the biggest thing, and I think we're going to see a lot of quick passes from Phillip Rivers to combat that. You're going to see a different game plan from Frank Reich. But really, the Colts are healthy at wide receiver, healthy at tight end, healthy at quarterback, and in the run game, they just got to figure out what to do at tackle. So we might see some Quentin Nelson at tackle. We might see Jake Eldrenkamp or Danny Pinter at guard. I don't know what they do at the right tackle spot because this is a tough spot to be in, but did talk to someone inside the organization yesterday. I know the outside world is panicking. I know the fans are panicking about the playoffs, not having 2 tackles. The Colts are fine. They believe they have a good plan for this. We'll see what happens.
We hear this all the time. Got to get off to a good start. But you think that is the case today?
Yeah, I think so. The Colts are number 2 in the NFL in first drive touchdowns, right? Right behind the Green Bay Packers. That's important. If you go down there, you guys just talked about the demons in Heinz Field and Three River Stadium, right?
Yeah.
Colts go down and score a touchdown off the bat. That would set the tone.
All right, Zach Kiefer, our Colts insider. Who do you like today, Colts or the Steelers?
Can't pick the Colts with Anthony Costanzo not on the field.
So you're going
Can't do it. Going with the Steelers.
All right. We'll see what happens. We'll have our picks later here on the show. More with Zach Kiefer here on Countdown to Kickoff. All right, folks, we're taking